So I'm Russ. I had this house for about 10 years. Had the original siding, I think, from 1985, 86. And at the time that I bought the house, I knew that it needed new siding, but I'd kind of put it off for a little while. I wasn't sure if I was going to keep the house, rent the house out. And I just decided that no matter what I did, it was going to need new siding, and I wanted to go with the best product I could possibly find. So after some research, I looked into different woods, and Hardie plank, everyone said was pretty much the best siding that you could potentially go with. So I decided to go that route. Overall, I wanted to make sure that I was going with a really good product that was going to last a long time. I didn't want to buy something or purchase siding and then say like I keep the house, and then a couple years down the road, maybe something starts to sag or paint starts to chip or I'm having issues with it. In doing so and doing the research, that one, Hardie was going to be the best product. Two, I didn't see too many houses in this area that had Hardie. So if I do choose to sell, I realize I think that's a bit of a competitive advantage over other houses that may be for sale at that time. I spend a lot of time doing work, like sitting out here on this patio. And this area at the bottom below this window had a lot of wood rot. So anytime I would come out here, I'd see that. It was just a daily visual reminder that I could not hide. I mean, I could buy furniture to hide it, but at the end of the day, I know it's underneath. I knew that it needed to be done. And like I said, if I do choose to sell the house, it would have to be done. And I feel like if you do it under duress like that, like you're up against a time crunch, you're gonna make a bad decision. So I knew that I had the time to do the proper research, and I had no reason to not make the time to get the job done. Well, initially, before I had made contact with anyone at the company, and I read a lot of reviews, actually talked to a couple of people who had siding installed, and they all spoke real highly of the customer service process and how Southwest Exteriors is very attentive to all their customers' needs. And if anything arises, they have no problem, addressing that concern. When I was looking online, I couldn't find another company that would bring a third party out to actually certify the warranty for James Hardie for the installation. A lot of people say that they install Hardie plank, but not everyone. I don't know of anyone else that goes to that length. I initially reached out through the internet. Someone had called me back pretty quickly. I think it was within less than a day. And then someone had come out to my house to show me what my options were for the siding. And I had no idea that there were that many options for Hardie plank. I figured it was either gonna be like a lap board or just something, something flat and smooth. And I was really surprised at the number of options that I was given. So that actually kind of took me by surprise. So it took a little bit more time for me to make my decision on what type of siding I wanted. Once I finally made that decision, they worked with my schedule really well. It was really nice to have someone who wasn't pressuring me like, hey, we have to get this done. We have to get this done. They understood and were able to work with me. Once the job got started, it was really nice to work with a group of people who made you aware of what was going on throughout the entire process. There was no mystery of, oh, okay, well, what's happening on this day, or when is this going to get done? And the communication was great. That was one of the things I really appreciated about the entire process. And then when it came time to transition from the demolition phase to the installation phase to the paint phase, I was made fully aware of like what that schedule looked like and how that was going to work. So that level of communication was really appreciated because my schedule is really busy and I was able to plan things around all those different phases. The thing that I like most of all, and I think it really speaks to the quality of the company that you're dealing with, no matter what you're doing, is it's not so much about when things go right, but about when things go wrong. So there were a couple of things that I found on the house that I really wasn't happy with, and they treated it like it was no problem. Like we looked at, I showed them what it was, I sent them pictures, they looked at the pictures like, oh no, I agree. And I feel like if I would have dealt with maybe a more inferior company, they might have tried to talk me out of like trying to make those changes, because they weren't easy changes to make. It was going to cost them time and money, obviously. So it was really nice to know that they really do stand behind their work and they want the customer to be as happy as possible. And it gave me no problems in like trying to make these adjustments. I think now, just because my schedule is getting busier, it would be harder and harder to make all this fit. I think I found a good window and I was able to make it work. And I was really happy one that I did, because now it's one less thing that I have to worry about with the house if I do choose to sell it. And I do think that it's a big bonus to anyone who's looking to buy. There's no regrets at all about choosing Hardie Plank Siding. I think I went with the best company I could go with in this area, and I feel like that the end result was better than I expected.